This post is an exploration of the book Administrative Law in Context, and what we're doing is we're following on the Mandescheid determination in QB Civil on a negligence case referring to the legal standard of care established by law, and of course that could be the common law or DODs or aeronautics legislation, but at any rate it puts out a list of issues. And of course, these determinations are always open to a certain level of appeal with proper leave, but it might be too late by the time the physicians have established their position. So anyway, Justice Mandescheid made reference to the legal liability of doctors and hospitals in Canada and raised a few points in rebuttal moving ahead with this book on administrative law in Canada. Particularly advocacy before administrative tribunals. And there's quite a section on misleading the tribunal on the facts and the law, and that would be Dr. Solerator, etc., reports to 85. And the content of the duty of fairness and judicial review, which is time limited. By the time you get there, you'll be out of funds and out of time contesting the positions from some years previous. So the content of the duty of fairness would lead to somebody doing an audit of the facts and the law. Obviously not the judge, obviously not the plaintiff, and not the physicians either. So one wonders who's actually running the show. So let's take a look at the TATC and new or additional information and introduce Dr. Solerator here. TATC's Richard opened another can of worms, referring to this section of the Aeronautics Act and drawing attention to the ICAO shall have received training in aviation medicine, as well as this snippet where it says the applicant was given the chance to call his witness in one Dr. Bland. And I'm drawing out the circular reasoning behind having such a condition requires meds, which certainly doesn't prove you have the condition. So, and cycle through false representation and entries and reports to 85, etc. So, worth noting, Professor Carver wrote this book on the roles and powers of the Forensic Psychiatry Review Board. It mentions the chairperson of the board must be a lawyer, not a physician. And we'll take a look through as the NOCs for concurrent use in the flight ops environment and DNDs look at approved meds. So that would be olanzapine, risperidone, Wellbutrin, and whatnot. So, and through ICAO, we have the licensing authority accredited medical conclusion shall have received training, and this ended up in the WAC, which demand for particulars 6 March 06. The legal standard of care established by law might include DNDs, DAODs for getting involved in someone's records, etc. But anyway, getting back to Mandescheid referring to being in no position without expert evidence from the same medical specialty as the defendant leaves you agreeing with one physician or disagreeing with two. So back into administrative law, we have governing rules, common law, witnesses, misleading the tribunal, etc. And further drawing attention to the content of the duty of fairness, and this would be Dr. Barb Bach's pretrial, as well as leading to a suggestion of an attitudinal predisposition towards the outcome as noted here. So as it happens, under the Foods and Drugs Act, Section 28, there is provision for an analyst to support the plaintiff, and I'm cycling through the aviator paradigm, drawing attention to accelerated solutions and the Strike Hornet project, as well as D&D's rules of evidence that would provide for a model or physical representation of a prior experience, including, in this case, CF Wings training and some of the fast jet experience to support the Strike Hornet paradigm. So we have mission logs as well through 1999 in Transport Canada's King Air and Twin Otter, and that reports to 85. So under the SSRIs, the applicant is allowed to provide a simulator ride, and in this case we have some simulator programming to go with the ride using SimConnect and Microsoft Flight Sim 10 as well as the C# programming language. So you can see the control head displaying a variety of modes. And we'll take a quick look at the presentation of forms, including internet communications. We have a hub and server. There's internet to include Google Earth. There's a medical head for medical interventions, as well as some user interfaces. And on the other side, we saw our software setup that we were currently looking at, UI configurations, mathematics pad for formation flying, and a GPS control head to provide real-time information. So leveraging the C# programming language and the SSRIs, which allow this in on a simulator ride, we got the Air Cadets Flight Ops model and some military and some civil applications put together. Showing here the glider instructor or passenger basically eyes out the back seat of the Cadets 233. And on a different angle, we have Electra fire bomber rolling in on a custom solution with the graphics generated, I call Fire and Ice Pilots. So the green tunnel, the yellow brick road, the size and the activity of the fire, etc., all can done in code. And following on geographic air survey here, we have the Commander Bird Dog watching the fire bomber go in on the fire over his shoulder. And we'll just round out with a look at some formation flying, and this is the Form Station X with 4 ship of dual F-18s going by to close the presentation.